lost who I was while I was using.
22-year-old Morgan Hermanson received an Emily's Hope Treatment Scholarship. She was a couple of years younger than Emily, but knew her from the high school gymnastics team.
So freshman year, I tried out, and she was just there. First day I met her, just was encouraging me the entire time, because I was scared, I didn't want to fall. I didn't want to fall on my face, embarrass myself. But she was like, "You got this, just go for it." And she was just my biggest cheerleader while I was on the team my freshman year. And she was just kind of took me under her wing. And then I would see her in school, and she'd always be like, "Hey, how are you? I hope things are doing well." And I would sometimes see some of her art pieces in the art room, and she would just show me some of her art, and we just kind of bonded over that. When I did see her, it was always just a warm, fuzzy feeling, and she always would just make me feel so much better, would just brighten up my day with her smile and just her goofiness. And we both really enjoyed going into the art room and stuff, and so it was good to see her, and then we would talk. Yeah, so when I found out she ended up passing away, it was just a heart-wrenching to me, and it was just what, and then a couple years later I started using, and I didn't realize though how much that actually did impact me, knowing somebody that ended up passing away from using and stuff like that, because you never think it's going to be you. Why am I doing this? I knew somebody who ended up passing away from it, but then the thought would go away, because it'd just be who cares? You're in the moment, it's not going to be you. But, there's been a few times where I thought it was going to be me. I was close to it, nervous, felt like I was going to have a heart attack. I started using when I got to college. Well, first it started drinking, and then I discovered marijuana, and then I found Adderall. And I really liked that because I was able to sit down and just focus. I would be like, "Oh, I'm going to use it to study." I used it to draw all night long. And I would buy 10 to 20 pills, and they, be like, "Okay, I'm going to use them, slowly, whenever I want to go out and party." No, it ended up just being I would take those in 2 to 3 days. But I was at first I was using the excuse okay, it helps me with my art. I'm just I can't do this by myself. I didn't have that courage anymore to keep working on my art, because I didn't think I was good enough. But I felt when I was on Adderall, I could draw whatever I wanted, so and get it done in one sitting instead of taking the time to do it and stuff. So it'd be kind of rushed. I mean, it still looked cool sometimes, but it wasn't my best work at all. And then I discovered, so I couldn't come, when I wouldn't come down off of Adderall, I needed Xanax. So I started doing Xanax here and there. And then I discovered Molly, and, one of those party drugs, we would just take it and keep drinking on it, because you wouldn't really get as drunk, but it felt you were still up in, I don't know, the clouds and stuff like that. You just felt really, really good. And when I would drink, I would get really, really sad. So I kind of liked mixing the two together, but then the come down after that would be so bad, I would have to smoke all day long the next day. I kind of started doing a lot of acid, playing with that, because I was oh, it can help me draw better. It helped me, I can see all these cool things. I'm going into another dimension, just crazy off the wall type of stuff. Just was but it was my new normal. I didn't know how to be sober at that point. I just got into it. It was my sophomore year of college. It's when I started smoking every day. I started doing Adderall almost every day. Because I would balance the two out, and then on the weekends, we would go hard with drinking, and even during the weekday. So it was just kind of all of a modge-podge of everything, mixed together, just trying to live life, but I thought I was in college, so it didn't matter, right? I was just experimenting. No way did I think I was gonna get hooked on any of it. I was oh, I'm just trying it. But then you try it, and then I was oh, that was so good. I just wanted to try it again. but it wasn't as good as it was the first time. So it was just like I was always chasing that high. And I didn't really realize what I was like doing until I decided to like go into treatment, like realizing all I've been doing, you know, these past 4 years has been chasing a high that I will never get again, because it's not possible. Like it's, you know, so I mean, I was just doing the drugs to do the drugs, like, and mentally I was like drained. The come downs are so bad that I wouldn't come down. Like there was a time where I would just roll on Molly for a couple days just because I was like, I don't want to deal with that come down. All your happiness is gone. Like you're just a zombie. You use all that serotonin while you're on the drug, and then you don't have any left for the next couple of days. And you just feel sick. You just are super tired. You're, I don't know, you're just like, I would get so sad, and then my brain would lead to some suicidal thoughts. That's how bad like mine would be, you know, because I would just use all that serotonin out of my brain, and I would use a lot. Like it wasn't just a small amount, it was a large amount, and I never could have enough. I always needed more. So where my friends would be stopping, I would keep going. So this past year, before I got help, I started doing a lot of cocaine. And I think maybe, you know, you think it's safe, but sometimes you can't really tell the difference between meth and cocaine, or, you know, so I think there was a few times where I maybe have done meth, but those are the two drugs I said to myself I'm never gonna do. I said if I did meth, I don't think I would have ever been able to quit. I was always sick, so I would never go to work. Or I would go to work late and leave work early so I could get high. I didn't have the work ethic like I do have now, or like how I used to have. I lost who I was while I was using. I couldn't look in the mirror. I didn't want to be around my family because like, you know, like they would notice, or like they would just be like, okay, who is this person? You know, I didn't want to bring them down either, or like worry them or anything. So I isolated a lot and just kept doing drugs because I didn't want to face the fact of what I did, or like how I was living life, you know. It got really dark for a couple months, battling death every day. I was like playing Russian roulette, because I would do so much. Like I don't know how I did an overdose. Like obviously God was on my side every time, because I would do so much. Like just having that mindset of thinking like you're invincible is just mind-blowing to me now, because you're not invincible. Like the only way I stayed safe was because I had somebody on my side out there looking out for me. You know, I'm surprised I'm sitting here today with how much like I drank, how I got alcohol poisoning a few times. I mean, you know, I'm surprised I'm in this chair.
Morgan's low point came along with a miracle.
I thought of killing myself every day. I thought of not of how to do it, because I know if I would have came up with a plan, I would have done it. But I just didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. All I wanted to do was get high, but I couldn't even get high because I was so tolerant to everything. So I felt like life was just pointless at this point. And it was one night, it was April 1st and 2nd, I was up. We were just partying all day long because why not, you know? Was just partying, stayed up, and then that Saturday I had to go to my parents' house. So the day before Easter, so April 3rd. But the night before I was up, I did like maybe 4 grams of cocaine, was drinking all night long, did a couple Adderall, was smoking some weed. And then my friend was like, did you sleep at all? And I was just like, no. But I had to clean my mom's house the next morning. So I was like, I gotta go to my house. Was just determined to get it done because I didn't want to, again, not come through with what I said I would do, because I don't know how many times I've done that for the past 4 years. Say I would do something and then not do it. So I was determined to go to my mom's house and clean it. So we smoked a couple joints, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home. But I made sure that my parents weren't home because I didn't want them to see how messed up I was. But while I was there trying to clean, I couldn't breathe. I was having just this massive anxiety, panic attack. I thought my heart was literally going to stop. I don't know. I just couldn't breathe. And I was trying to clean, trying to do my best. And I was like, God, if I start crying, it's gonna just make this so worse. I felt like I was going to just fall down on the ground and just lay there and never get back up. That's what I felt like. And then my parents came through the doors, and I looked right into my mom's eyes, and there was just this heavenly light around her, and then a translucent face of Jesus, just staring back at me while I'm looking at my mom. And there's this voice that came out in the back of my head, and it was like, this is your last chance. You need to do something. That wasn't my voice. It was just this heavenly voice that said, you need to do something or you're going to die, And so I said to my mom, I go, Mom, come rub my back. Can you just, I can't calm down. I just need you to come rub my back. And I ended up telling her, I'm not just smoking weed. I'm doing cocaine. I'm drinking almost every day. I'm doing acid and Adderall and Molly and all this stuff. And I can't stop. I don't know how to stop. And I need help. And that's when we decided to call the Avera Addiction Care Center that day and said I need to go to treatment. It was really scary. The next day I kind of regretted it just a little bit because I was mad that I didn't get to smoke as much, but that was just me being an addict and just wanting to, okay, no, I don't need to do it. But it was the best decision of my entire life, and if I had to do it again, go back in the past and do it again, I would do it. And hopefully I would be able to go back, do it sooner. Nervous about going to treatment because I didn't have any money because I spent it all on drugs and alcohol. So I was just and I didn't want my parents to pay for it because this is I did this to myself. I can't just keep taking advantage of them. And so I asked one of the counselors, I was like, is there a scholarship or something? And they're like, Emily Hope's. There's an Emily Hope Scholarship Foundation. And I was just like, Emily? And then I saw Emily's picture and I go, Emily, oh my God. It was just absolutely crazy because I knew I was doing the right thing while I was in the center, just seeing that picture of her and seeing her artwork around there, just knowing that she was watching down over me, helping me get through these next steps. And I literally wrote down on the application, I said, I do not have money to pay for this. I spent it all on drugs and alcohol, and I really want to change my life. So if there's any way you can consider me for this scholarship, I will do my best I absolutely can to do whatever I can give back. It meant the world. I wasn't stressed out about having to pay for it. It was just kind of made me realize okay, I am more just than a drug addict and an alcoholic. I am more to people, and just them having hope in me gave hope in myself to continue on this journey of sobriety, because I feel if I didn't get that scholarship, it would have just made it harder, and I would have dwelt on it, and I would have just been you know what, I don't care, I can't pay for this, so I'm going to start using again. But it eliminated that problem for me.
Morgan now sees Emily, who always cared about her when she was alive, as her guardian angel.
It helped me see like the hope in the future that I will have someday about whatever I want to be. And I think it was a sign from her, keep going. Like that like I'm here for you, like how I've been there for you, like I'm here for you. I definitely feel like she's one of my guardian angels, pushing me when I don't want to push myself. So yeah, there's irony in it, but like I also find that like a huge blessing, just knowing that she's up there cheering me on, giving me the strength that she didn't have, just giving it to me, to keep going every day, even though sometimes I don't want to, but just knowing that I have her on my side, really, really helps. So.
But that doesn't mean it's always easy.
The hardest thing is just like, I'm young, and all of my friends, they can go out and they can, like, they're normal. Like, like they can have a couple beers, glasses, whatever, do whatever normally, but I can't do that. Like, I can never have enough. Like, one is too much and 1,000 will never be enough for me. So that's probably the hardest thing that I have to accept every single day, that like I'm not normal in that sense. Like I have superpowers in other ways, but I'm not normal in that sense. And the best thing is just knowing that like I have this whole life ahead of me, and I have endless possibilities and so much potential that I can almost do whatever I want now, because I am sober today. And like realize that I am capable of anything that I want to do, and having that motivation back and awareness is really the best part of being sober and being in recovery. And then you also have like this whole other family too. You don't just have your own family, like you have fellow addicts and alcoholics who are there by your side, and they understand like you're not alone, because sometimes it feels like you can be really alone.
She now relies on her art as an outlet to avoid using again.
My art, so, when I get a craving or something, or like when I like having a bad day, like I can turn to it and just put all of that, whatever I'm feeling, into an art piece. Sometimes it can be really ugly and sometimes it can turn out great, but it just feels like an extension of who I am. So, and then like putting it out like onto paper or on a canvas, it just helps me like process through things and stuff like that. So that's why like I really like to do it. It just helps me just relax and grounds me back down to earth. Like, I'm not in the clouds anymore. Like I'm not off daydreaming about, using again, and if I do, like, that's when I can turn to art, And I like flowers, and flowers usually die, So if you draw flowers and paint flowers, they're there forever.
Morgan says she will be forever grateful for the assistance she received from Emily's Hope.
Like, Emily's Hope gives hope to people, especially me in my shoes when I am so young and I don't have that financial stability that others might have, and that if like you're considering like you can't go to treatment just because you don't have enough money, and just knowing that there's this scholarship there can really help push people to get their butts in there and get help, because it's the best decision that you're ever going to do. And that's why I'm so grateful for the Emily Hope Foundation, and it is close, near and dear to my heart just because I knew her too, and she's just smiling down on all of us right now.
Thank you for joining us. If you like what you're hearing, please hit the subscribe button and consider giving Grieving Out Loud, the podcast, a positive rating and review. You can listen to our episodes on our website, emilyshope.foundation, or wherever you get your podcasts. Wishing you faith, hope, and courage.